Hello everyone, we're here for another episode. I've just come back from a bit of a weird episode where it was like 20 minutes long, and we unlocked all of the secondary professions available to us in the first game. And that's as a fail-safe in case things start to get a bit hard later on. But we're ready to continue with the plot. You remember at the start of this chapter I said that the desert was a bit of a pause in the main confrontation with the White Mantle and the Shining Blade. Well, this mission kind of returns us back to that whole side of things. So let's read our journal and then quickly recap on where we are and what's happening. So the journal. There's two entries we've written since then. One was the Thirsty River. The ghostly hero instructed me that I had to be cleansed during the first test. After a series of it says first test, but obviously that was the last one we did because you can choose. That always kind of reminded me of in Tomb Raider 3, you know, where like you'd complete India and then you could pick one of the three places. Yeah, anyway, after a series of skirmishes against the Forgotten, the way to the Rune Circle finally opened up. I stepped into the circle, whereupon a towering ghost cast a ritual and burned away my earthly imperfections. Having proved my worth, I was now one step closer to gaining entrance to the rift. Okay, and then we went to Aubrey Rock and we got inside the Messer. So, in the final test of Ascension, I was forced to face myself. Such a powerful experience cannot be done justice with words. It was both painful and exhilarating, triumphant and frustrating, all at the same time. In the end, I was certain I finally had the power to strike back at the Mantle, but I also realised there was still so much I didn't know about my enemy. So I decided to travel north and seek counsel of the great dragon Glint, who is said to hold prophetic wisdom. She may be able to tell me what lies ahead. And of course she wrote the Flameseeker Prophecies, which seem to have dictated everything that's happened so far. So that's why we're seeing her. Okay, so where did we leave with the main confrontation? You remember we were with the Shining Blade, who were fighting sort of guerrilla tactics at the White Mantle from the jungle. The White Mantle were a faction that rose to power in Kryta after the Char attacked, and the royalty in Kryta basically fled. So a man named Saul de Lesio kind of formed this new religion, and he has since disappeared. But since then, the White Mantle's been empowering Kryta, and they believe in what Saul said and work like that. Anyway, we found out that they were killing innocent people who were chosen, and that is because the White Mantle and presumably the gods that they work for, the unseen ones, don't want people to ascend. They don't want the chosen to ascend and to get the gift of true sight. Now why that is we don't know, but we're sure that Glint can tell us. So here we are. The Shining Blade have been mostly broken actually. If you remember at the end of the Sanctum K mission, we were with the Vizier of Or who helped us out and got us away, but most of the Shining Blade were broken because their inner council had 3 members in it. It had Marcus, who betrayed them and was actually a member of the White Mantle. He betrayed the location of them and they all got attacked and wiped out. Ivinia, who was also one of their leaders, she was captured at the end of the Sanctum K mission, which leaves only Saidra, and we don't know where she is or what she's doing. But we will find out very soon. So here we go, let's end the desert, guys. Forgotten Gatekeeper. Do not fear me, human. I will bring you no harm here on the threshold of the dragon's lair. What is it you desire of me? Tell me what I'm doing here. The great dragon Glint eagerly awaits your presence. She has been expecting you. She has? Yes, she is an oracle, a powerful master of many things she is. She has seen many things, knows of your arrival here, knows that the only one to overcome the great adversity can accomplish great things. Only the ascendants who make it through her defences can speak with her face to face. Why would she trust someone who has breached her defences? No, the great dragon has little to fear from intruders, little indeed. Her defences are not to protect her, they are to test those who would wish to gain audience. The task she has foreseen in your future is not one for the weak. Oh no, she wants to be sure that only those strong enough to complete this important task reach her. Where is her lair? It is very hard to find, very hard. Glint keeps herself tucked away inside a pocket dimension, inside a single grain of crystalline sand. You could search the desert for 1,000,000 lifetimes and then 1,000,000 more and still never find her. The only way into the grain of sand is through this portal. I guess that's what all this magic is, to summon the portal. Step through to the other side and you will begin the last leg of your journey. What must I do? Simply find your way to the Great Dragon. Helpful. Survive the test inside and you will prove yourself worthy of meeting with Glint. I will find with her and speak with her. See that you do. Alright, so now that we've ascended, all the missions we come up against are going to be designed for 8 people. We're doing it with just 1. Let's kick his ass. Okay, so here we go. With this mission, I always kind of thought of it as like they shrunk us down really small and now we were like on the surface of a single grain of sand. But that was just my interpretation. Something interesting to note about the environment here, if you look at these crystals, now this is just a little theory of mine, but if you look at these crystals, they look kind of like the crystals that fell on Ascalon and were summoned from the sky, and I think there might be a link there, which I'll explain after we've finished the Let's Play. But let's continue. Okay, so there's a forgotten gatekeeper here. He says that Glint does not often accept visitors. If you wish to meet her, you must make your way through the defences of her lair. Defeat the 6 facets of the Great Dragon Prophet, and you shall be granted an audience. Step through this portal and begin the journey. Okay, so in each of these areas, you will be coming up against a different environmental effect. There are 6 challenges essentially that we need to go through. Each one represents each profession in the game. So this is the first one, and we're under the effect of the domain of health draining. It says that while we're in this area, our health is always draining, you see? Which of course is very annoying. The idea is to first fight your way there, and then second you need to defeat a boss at the end. So this first area is the monk area, and this is a particularly cool mission to go in for capturing elite skills at the start of the game. So that's pretty cool. Also, in my tests for this I wasn't doing this, but I've decided that I do want to in the end. There's these items here called red rock candies which I've got. And basically when we use that it means that we do everything faster. We run faster, we attack faster, and stuff activates faster and recharges faster. So I'm going to eat one of those for this mission because that allows me to stop having to use sprint to move faster, and I don't have to use flail to attack faster anymore, which is very helpful. So I'm going to complete this first section here. You can see we're going through the crystal. And then I want to focus again, so I don't mean to make a big habit out of it, but I'm going to do the same thing that I did in the Thirsty River, if you remember. I'm going to commentate afterwards, just so that I don't, you know, fuck up for no reason. I don't want to waste stuff. So this area is pretty simple really, we just run through. It's quite annoying having the pressure of this health always draining, and yet again this guy that I'm playing on has a disadvantage in that he's got 15 less attribute points, so healing Signet's not healing me for as much as it was on the other characters, but it shouldn't be too bad. Okay, so this guy here's a monk, and I've got to try and pull him away from the other enemies so that I can just go in there and kill him on my own without having to worry. My build, I'm using Defy Pain again to keep myself safe and alive. To kill this guy, I need to ideally interrupt his Word of Healing spell. I'm not using Agonizing Chop to interrupt anymore, I'm using Disrupting Chop, and that means that whatever I interrupt will take ages to recharge again on the enemy. So if I interrupt their Word of Healing, their powerful healing skill, that means that he's not going to be able to use it anymore. So there you go, and then by doing that I can kill him without a problem. Well, he used Aegis there and got lucky, but there you go. Okay, so that's the first one down. Now that that monk's dead, it means that I can kill one of these small groups, small pairs, sorry, of enemies. An enchanted sword and an enchanted hammer. These are the constructs that the Forgotten build. There we go, just got to pull them over to me. Now I'm going to try and hit the hammer first because the hammers can knock me over, which is incredibly annoying. But we'll just wait and do that. So there you can see there he's just knocking me over like an asshole. It's not so bad now that he's dead. Swords are just as easy as they were in the Thirsty River. None of these guys heal themselves. The swords don't knock me over, they don't make me weak, they don't do anything. Except cripple me. They're annoying if I'm trying to run past them, but otherwise they're fine. Okay, so that's that guy dead. Now there's this one other monk here, this Forgotten Sage here, and he patrols up to the boss and then back. So I have to wait in the middle of the boss in this group for him to come in the middle, and then I can get him and do that. That way I can, because if I try and kill the boss straight away, the monk's just going to run back and start healing him, which is annoying. So the monks, the bosses here, as you can see, they look like dragons. I guess they're kind of modelled after Glint. I know there's some significance to the fact that they look like dragons. I'm just not entirely familiar with it. You do meet them again in the final expansion of the game, Eye of the North, in some very interesting quests. But for all we need to know for now is that they're each one represents one of the different professions. So there we go, that's both monks down. Now this guy is kind of a key battle. He doesn't do much damage, but he has loads of defense. He's actually possibly one of the hardest bosses to kill in this whole mission, just because he's so difficult to take out. So what I'm going to use here is the Shining Blade. Without them, my build would have had to been completely different, and it would have been really hard to survive for the rest of the mission. So let's summon them. You'll see in a minute, because of the structure of the mission, that actually I won't be able to have the Shining Blade with me after this battle. I am completely alone again after this. So that's something to bear in mind. Anyway, even with these guys, I think he could probably take a long time to kill. So give me a second to super speed it. Okay, oh yeah, we got a gold from him, well, a scroll. Okay, so now we're going to go through this portal, and this will take us to the second of the 6. And I'll hand you over to my future self, because then I can super speed it a lot more. See you later. Right, so this is the second area. It's the Rangers zone. You can kind of tell by the colours of sort of the environment, it changes every time. So just now it was kind of blue, and now we're looking at a kind of natural greeny yellow. So basically here I am going to it. This is quite an annoying one because a lot of the enemies that you fight are these bows, obviously because it's the ranger area, and as usual they blind me, but they always come in groups of 3, you see, which can keep you permanently blind if you're not careful. So one thing I had to add into my build was that monk skill, Mend Ailment, and basically you have to spam that at the start and hope they don't interrupt it to get rid of your blindness. This was a real pain when I was trying to figure out how to complete the mission. I didn't, like I said before, nobody done a full video of the whole thing. All there is on YouTube is a video of the first area, and I couldn't find any real builds online, so I had to invent this myself. And this was one that kind of worried me. But anyway, once I got the hang of it, it's pretty easy. The boss is just as simple as stand there and spam your skills till he dies, really. I could have cast Watchful on myself there, but I didn't. I completely forgot, which made it harder than it had to be. Anyway, so here's the third area. This is the Mesmer one. You'll see I dropped my enchantments there. It's because the spiders that I'm fighting here are pretty much harmless. They're in the first half, we're now in the second half. But the spiders can strip your enchantments, while the snakes will kill you if you don't have the enchantments, because they use energy burn. So this was quite a cool little area that I enjoy, because you have to kind of juggle your 2 enchantments by turning them off and then killing the spiders and then coming forward. This one actually went really well for me. I can do this faster, but I like to play it a little bit safer here by killing all of these snakes as I go. Probably one of the easier rooms. I only died here like once or twice when I was testing. So here we are against the boss. He doesn't do anything really. He uses diversion, which is the skill that means my skills recharge really fast if I use it while hexed with it. but you just interrupt it and then you're perfectly safe to go on. I got a gold in that room as well, by the way. It was a star. Alright, third area. You can probably tell by the darker, more putrid green. This is the necromancer area. And on the floor, littering the path in here, there are loads of corpses of Ascalon soldiers. That's quite interesting. I was reading online about why people thought that they might be there. And there's not really any reason. I think the best reason that they give is that that like Glint put them there to freak you out or something, because you know it's meant to be a fearful place. The boss is easy. You just hack it away. The environment effect there is you have one less energy regeneration, so you can only use one enchantment there. Again, quite easy. We're probably in the hardest one here now. These crystal guardians, if they get close to you, they use shock and they knock you down. Before, when I was doing my test, I didn't have the red rock candy, so I didn't have space on my skill bar for balanced stance, which makes me immune to knockdowns. And this was hard in that case. This was a very hard round. And I even have a little bit of trouble here. You see how I've come around on the left in the room. Usually the boss I can just shoot with the longbow that I've got equipped, and those two forgotten guardians on the left of him won't come as well. But they spawned really weird this time when I was in the mission, and I couldn't get the boss without those snakes fighting me as well. If all three were fighting me, I'd die. So yeah, I really do start to struggle here a little bit. You'll notice there's not an environment effect here. Instead of a global effect, there's just these wards that I'm near, and if you stand in them, they hit you with random sort of elements and stuff. You can see there, that's a lightning storm going on in that one. And yeah, I just have numerous failed attempts here. I can't go around on the right because of these crystal guardians, so eventually, as you can see I'm doing now, I decide that I'll just try and take out the guardians myself, which is very hard because as I said before, they knock you down and stuff. This was a bit of a juggling act here, trying to get in, score a kill, damage one, get away, and then run away and heal up before they get their health back, so that balanced stance can recharge, you see there. But I managed to do it, and then when there was just one left, I didn't have to run around anymore, and I just killed him. Looking back, there you go, I just cast Strength of Honor. I should have cast that earlier, that would have probably been a bit easier. So now that I'm on the right, I can shoot him with the longbow, and he came to me no problem. This boss, again, he doesn't heal himself, but it's a good idea to interrupt one of his skills, which is Lightning Surge, otherwise he's going to be knocking you down a lot, and it would just take ages to kill him. So that's him down. That's 5 out of 6 done. And we're going to the last area. Yellow, yes, they saved the best for last. They saved warriors for last. In this area, you'll see in a sec, I fall over randomly and you stay on the floor. It's on super speed, so it didn't look like that lasted very long, but it's about 3 or 5 seconds, I think, you stay on the floor, which is a real pain. So when you run into the boss, you've got to be careful, get your timing right. I died here before as well because of one of the patrols running into me, but once you learn the way they move, it's fine. And then this boss, just basically hit him and interrupt his healing signet, which is quite easy because it takes 2 seconds to cast. He's a warrior, so he's got a lot of defense and he takes a while to kill, but not a problem. And there you go, that's all 6. I'm going to start talking to you again normally, so see you later. Ta-da! Cool. Alright, and we got a Scroll of Heroes Insight as well. Alright, that's that mission complete. This is the, well, basically complete. This is the last portal. I'm going to go ahead and do another episode for this next one, because I'm doing something a little bit special that I think you might quite like. But Glint is through this one, so let's see how it goes. Let's do it. We're ready for answers.